of the Regulatory Advisory Office of the Ministry of Mines and Energy here in Brazil. I work with the coordination of several policies, transversal policies, and one of them is the National Hydrogen Program. So it's very important to say that we are not starting now discussing hydrogen, but since 2002, we have been developing a lot of technological neutral R&D strategy for hydrogen. This means in several routes, so with renewables, ethanol, hydro, wind, and solar, but also with natural gas. And as outcomes, we have developed several pilot projects with different technologies, like a bus fleet in Rio de Janeiro, in power generation and energy storage, and in ethanol fuel cells. And we have enabled the creation of strategic positioned startups like Hydron, Electrocell, and Ergostec. But with the COVID, we have been witnessing a lot of buzz about hydrogen, mainly because of the European Green Deal as a COVID response, in which countries dived in an energy transition strategy based on electrification and hydrogen, looking for competitive green hydrogen exporter markets. So naturally, Brazil started to be seen as a promising candidate because of its abundant and competitive clean energy. And by the end of 2020, we noticed it was time to sit down and discuss what our approach to hydrogen would be. So what are we doing right now? We are thinking about hydrogen in a more systematic way, considering also its role in our energy transition strategy. So in 2021, we published at the beginning of the year in our 30-year energy expansion plan, a chapter comprising disruptive technologies, and hydrogen already appears in this chapter. In February 2021, the National Council for Energy Policy defined hydrogen as one of the key strategic areas for public and publicly oriented innovation investments. And after that, our Energy Research Office launched a specific report on the basis for a national hydrogen strategy. And then in August 2021, the National Council for Energy Policy established about 50 directives for a hydrogen national program. And now in 2022, our 10-year expansion plan has a chapter dedicated to hydrogen. And the Energy Research Office published 3 reports about specific technological routes for hydrogen and its potentials in Brazil. And then in June 2022, the National Council for Energy Policy approved the creation and institution of the National Hydrogen Program and its governance structure. So now we are implementing the policy, the National Hydrogen Program, and the program is based on 5 thematic axes. One is the strengthening of technological bases. The other is the training and capacity building for a hydrogen industry. Then we have one axis based on energy planning, then on legal and regulatory framework, and the last one on market growth and competitiveness. And this public policy will be based on a multi-annual working plan that is going to be designed and proposed by several ministries working together, and together with the academia and researchers and with the private sector, of course. And the first triennial working plan will be approved at the end of this year, in December 2022. But the idea is that each year this working plan is implemented and updated so that we have a living policy on which we can work and see clearly what the priorities are in different areas of the government, and move forward with this agenda, because our main goal is to create a market and an industry in Brazil to produce and consume hydrogen. When we think about the global energy transition and about the role that hydrogen can play as one of the most versatile energy vectors that exist. So we are very overwhelmed and happy with this work that is being implemented by several ministries here in Brazil. And we are very willing to continue international cooperation. And this is something that I have to state. International cooperation is one area that will be discussed in all our 5 thematic axes, because we know that in all of these axes, we need to be working together with other countries. We know that a lot of developments are happening in other countries, and we see a lot of room for leapfrogging and benchmarking as well, and also inspiring. So getting inspired by other countries' experiences, but also inspiring other countries. Thank you.